Tony Elumelu is UBA Group Chairman and founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation. He also chairs the largest conglomerate. You're going to be investing upwards of $2 billion in the power sector. Like, you are putting money, time, resources, and philanthropic efforts into Nigeria. Make your case for why money should be coming in when Jen outlines all the difficulty.
I think I have a credential of business turnaround, and I know how it is to turn around a business, especially Nigeria is like a business turnaround situation at this point in time. The economy was badly run, and we have a new president who believes in the private sector and who is doing his best to attract investors to the country. That is why my group and I, we keep investing, and we want to continue to invest in Nigeria. I have seen a president who is pro-business. 2 days back, we were at NASDAQ where he rang the closing bell. And to me, it's signaling, symbolic. It shows that, because we have a lot of resources in the country, human, natural resources, the missing link has been poor leadership. And I believe, as we all know, there's so much private global capital seeking the right investment destination. All it takes is for a leadership to show that this country is set for business and people come there. We want to move into an economy where they can invest freely as well as move their monies out when it comes for time for dividend and remittances and repatriation of a dividend. Right. So I will continue to invest because of the signal that we see in the market, because of certain fundamentals that are right. If we can fix some of these, oil theft, fix oil theft, make sure the pipeline that carries the transportation of oil is right, make sure that the macroeconomic indices are right, make sure, as we do now, how today, coincidentally, the new central bank governor just resumed. Right. And we hope that he and his team, we know some of them, and we think they're very capable. Right. We believe that he and his team will be able to bring confidence and trust back to the Nigerian economy so that investors like us and investors outside the country will grow their confidence.
What is your expectation, though? You mentioned the central bank governor has assumed the role, but at the same time, we're talking on a day where the Naira is, as I mentioned, touching almost 1,000 per dollar. I mean, is the volatility going to continue? Is that your expectation?
The way I see it is when you're doing a turnaround, it gets worse, and then things get better. You know, the two rates have been merged, or the multiple rates have converged, and people just want to see that the new leadership will be able to sustain what they've started. Once they do so, confidence will rise. And as you rightly said before, Jennifer, the reason people are accumulating dollars, not because they need it now, is because of lack of confidence. When they see that the new government is taking the right policies, as they have started, they've harmonized the exchange rate, and they've also removed petroleum subsidy, which used to be a major drain on our natural resources. Fix the insecurity issues, make sure the oil theft is addressed, make sure the petroleum pipelines are strong. Yep. I think it's a matter of time. The country will take off. And so, yes, the rate would ultimately improve because the kind of speculative demands we see today will fizzle out.
But as you say, Tony, you have to have confidence. And you have to believe that the government is going to do the right thing. This week has not felt like that. And that's the problem, that confidence is being undermined every day. We see the kind of headlines flashing around the world about what the currency is doing. Isn't the job of restoring confidence getting harder every day that this crisis continues?
I think two things have happened. First, there's been a change in leadership at the central bank, and the new central bank governor resumed just today because the Senate had to clear the new appointment. We have confidence in the new central bank governor based on his credentials and his team, and we believe that they will correct things. Number two is people are panicking because they don't know where the rate will go. And what you see in the headlines you see today is a reflection of what has happened for the past couple of days. But from now on, that we have a new leadership at the helm of affairs of the central bank, plus the president's signaling and strong commitment to actually making decisions that will help the economy rebound. We believe that it's a matter of time. But most importantly for me is fixing the fundamentals, making sure that oil theft is addressed, making sure that there's consistency of policies, making sure that the good discipline and audacity that the new leadership has put in place continues, because it's big audacity to converge the rates as well as making sure that the fuel subsidy is removed. These are things that used to guzzle a lot of currency in the country. So with that gone, and with people, new leadership, and people beginning to see that the direction, the discipline, I think it's a matter of time for this to correct it. But as I said, I have been involved in turnaround business, and I know how it can be when you're starting the journey. That's what I think is happening in Nigeria at this point in time. A little bit of patience, and I think things will smoothen out.
Well, Tony, speaking of turnaround, there's also the issue of Nigeria's power sector, but you've been very significant and substantial in continuing to invest in the power sector. You've been here this week. Have you secured any other foreign investors potentially to help the turnaround in the power sector in Nigeria?
No, what we do, we buy the general electric equipment, GE equipment, the turbines, etc. And we have quite a couple, right now. What we're trying to do is to make sure that gas that we need to fire the plants are fixed and in abundance. But in terms of acquiring new assets, we have quite a bit. We've invested close to $2 billion in this area. Today, we have capacity of about 2,000 megawatts of electricity on a daily basis. We supply almost 15% of Nigeria's total energy consumption, and also supporting the Republic of Benin, which is a neighboring country. But what's important to us is making sure that access to electricity is improved, because that is critical for even the exchange rate we're discussing now. You cannot industrialize Nigeria anywhere else in Africa without fixing access to electricity. You cannot develop a continent without fixing that. So to us, it's not just about making investments for profitability. It's about contributing our own quota that helps to transform Nigeria and Africa, because to us, our operating theater is all of Africa and not necessarily Nigeria. Access to electricity is important. Good governance is important. Strong leadership is important. And all of these work together to make sure that we take and that Africa takes off. And of course, we cannot forget our young ones. The future of Africa belongs to our young ones, and we must make sure we prioritize them in everything we do, so that jobs can be created and they can be more economically and meaningfully engaged. And that is what brings sustainable prosperity.